Ben Arthur, you want to lead us off?
Yeah, sure. Hey, Pete. In all your years of coaching, have you ever seen? Yeah, that's a lot. Have you ever seen your defense or really any facet of your team improve the way your improve the way your 2020 defense has? Can you kind of compare that to anything, and what have you just kind of made of that?
Yeah, I don't want to use my examples would be kind of weak. So let's. This is a really obvious. It's a dramatic shift, and it is statistically more than anything. We had the guys to do some good football here a while back. We just weren't numbering out right. But it's now in the last to go 7 weeks of really really good football. That's a good turnaround now, and I'm really happy for everybody, obviously, and the coaches and the players and all that. But most of all, that we're hitting it at the right time. That's what's really valuable, and there's some. Yeah, I know you guys you listen to the TV broadcast, so you get their version of things and all, somebody said, I've been so optimistic. When have I not been optimistic? So I don't know if that really is a big statement about us turning it around and all that. But this has come really through hard work and discipline and trust and belief and all that. It is about believing in people, and that has it's the players believing in each other as well as their coaches and all that. And so has been a dramatic shift in a sense. But the most important thing is that we're playing good football now. That's what's important.
And then just a couple quickies on personnel. Have you heard any? Have you gotten any clarity from the NFL on Josh Gordon, and then also Daryl Taylor?
No,
What's his status on practicing?
nothing on Josh updated. With Daryl Taylor, he was pretty sore after his workouts over the weekend, so I can't tell you, but that doesn't bode well going forward as far as I can tell. But let us, give us till Wednesday and we'll see what's going on.
Corbin Smith.
Hey, Pete, shortly after you guys traded for Jamal Adams, John Schneider was talking about one of the big reasons the trade was made was to deal with your division rivals. And Robert Woods is one of the players that he name dropped. Yesterday, Adams got some reps against him in coverage, as well as tight ends Tyler Higbee and Gerald Everett. None of those players had more than 4 catches or more than 50 yards in this game. Considering how comfortable he is in the scheme now, is this exactly what you and Schneider were envisioning, his unique skill set fitting into the secondary?
I think when John was talking about that, he was talking about the tight ends pretty specifically, and I think he was thinking, about, the guy down in San Francisco. Kittle's a great player, and that was one of the thoughts he had. I know that came up. But what has taken place with Jamal in the midst of this defense, he has really emerged as a terrific football player and facet to this thing, and we were talking about that way right away. We could see it early on, but he is now that he's really embraced the whole system and he knows where he's going and where everybody else is, and he really has command of all of it. He's just been a huge factor, and he's a huge factor on regular plays. From one play to the next, it's just the way he takes on blocks. He set up a great play that Shaq made on a tackle at the line of scrimmage. By the way, he took on his blockers to force the football. I mean, he's factoring into other people's play because he's given it up in such fashion. So. This is what we had hoped for. This is the guy that we thought we may be able to get, and it's why we thought it was worth it, and it's been obvious.
John Boyle.
Yeah, you kind of touched on this a little bit yesterday, but now that you've maybe had a night to reflect on it, just what does this season mean to you, everything you guys have accomplished on the field, but then when you factor in everything going on with COVID, the way you guys have handled that, there was obviously the big focus on fighting racism, there's the election, just so much going on, and for this team to come out where it has, so just how proud of you of this effort.
Well, that's a big question, John. There's a lot there. I don't think I should try to address all of it. I wouldn't know where to begin. But I this has been just such an extraordinary year of challenges, and I mean, real challenges, our mentality and where our hearts is and where our health is and where our aspirations for the doing some things in our work. I mean, there's just been so much. I remember going down downtown just to see the demonstrations that were going on, just to try to get a feel what was happening, and just to kind of sense it, and to report back. That was early on before we were even rolling, and all the stuff that's taking place. I mean, it's been a really full challenge, and it's been one that I felt kind of compelled to go for, because I looked at it like it was going to be a competition, and so what can we do to compete at it all? To come out this other end of it after in the football season, and to have a chance to be in the championship moment, and then come through and play like our guys have, and continue to emerge, and we have future ahead of us, and we're excited about it. I couldn't be more grateful, couldn't be more thankful to be a part of this group of guys, because of the togetherness that they have cherished and lived with, and the brotherhood that they have worked to develop through all of the challenges. I mentioned it to him that's where I feel the most gratitude is to have been a part and watched this all take place, and to put us in this time right now. So, I don't have enough words to express how grateful really I am for being through all of this, knowing that we've our guys have been safe, and they've helped their families be safe, and we've made it to this point. I had the thoughts, and what's going to happen when the season's over, and no longer do we have all of the regimen that we have, and everybody takes off and goes home, and leaving this the confines of this extended bubble that we've created. Man, I don't even know how to deal with that, but. So it has been very meaningful, and very grateful, and really excited, to have the chance to keep going and doing stuff.
Adam Jude.
Yeah, Pete, talking about the goal line stand yesterday, I think you called it kind of one of your favorite moments and something you'd never forget. But I'm curious if you can walk us through maybe when you watch that on film back for the first time. What's that like for you? Presumably late last night, early this morning. Are you just as excited watching it, second, third, fourth time as you were watching it live there? And then on top of that, is there a sequence or a play or a moment from that whole stand that really jumps out after you watched it?
Well, watching it again, I didn't realize how close the first play was of the play before the four, when Jamal makes the play from the backside and chases down the running back. I didn't realize how he would have scored. I didn't know that at the time, and so to see it again and realize how impacting that play was to give us the opportunity to go for it, and then just thrilled by the first moment, the first play. When Jordan runs through and smacks the guy in the backfield. Now we got a loss. Now we got the advantage shifts a little bit. We're not at such a disadvantage as they lost a little bit. And then getting to the, and then I didn't know Jamal had made the tackle that he made on the next play, which was really he had to make that tackle. I think the guy was going to get in the end zone, and it came from the other side and backside, knocks him down, cuts him down. And then we have a chance to get the ball on the quarterback sneak, and that's why I challenged it. I mean, I'm thinking, what am I weighing here? A timeout or a shot to get the football? Maybe if we can get a good look at it. We didn't have any confirmation from our guys upstairs that we could see the recovery. We just knew the ball was loose, and then to see the guys respond was really, I think, the thing that brings the most out of it was the response of our players when they do stop them on fourth down, and how they just screamed out of there. One of our coaches said it was like them starting a 4x1 relay. They all just hit it out of the blocks, and they were flying, just demonstrating, the exhilaration that they had, all of that. So. That's as we went through it. I mean, when I watch the film, when I have my chance, I go through the TV copy and the game film at the same time, and so I came across the TV part of it before I got to it on the game film. But so it was fun to see it.
Tim Booth.
Pete, I'm wondering what you thought of Jordan's game yesterday, especially considering he only played, I think, 28 defensive snaps but had 8 tackles. And was the lack of snaps for him yesterday just a result of playing a little bit more nickel with the
substitution to match the personnel? He played great. He really did. He was physical and tough, and really saw things well. We had to adjust some things during the game to fit stuff up, which he was able to do and did well. He's an impacting football player. He's really good, and I might have said, I feel like I said last night, that he really handles the game well, and he can communicate well, and you don't feel like you're talking to a pup that's all wild-eyed and all that. He's really tuned in and can make sense of the adjustments and stuff like that, which is really important, obviously, to play well.
And then you said after the game, Bobby had a little forearm issue. Is he fine?
Yeah, he won't even let us look at it, so I think he's okay.
Michael Sean Dugar.
Hey Pete, I'm gonna read you a quote from Cam Chancellor regarding defensive philosophy. It's speaking to simplicity. It was in reference to what Greg Williams had said about Jamal being bored. Cam said, "When you see a lot, you see nothing. But when you see one thing, you see everything." Where did that philosophy for you come from in terms of keeping things simple for your guys on D?
Well, that goes way back. And you know what? So I can't even remember where it started. I know that see a little, see a lot was something that Gus used to say a lot, and it fit the mentality perfectly. But when you watch the years when we had the really big run, and we went 6 years straight of just great defense, in pretty historic fashion. We were not complex. But there was great complexity in the demands of the simplicity, in a sense, the details and the focus and the ability to carry things out just to the letter of the law, and the consistency that we demanded, and the accountability we demanded. All those things, were so strictly important. But the overall, people would look at us, hey, they just play zone all the time, play 3 deep, and that's what they thought, But I always laughed at that because there was so much into doing it the way we were doing it. Cam, through our system, was raised on that approach, and we knew that the idea of it all was to get the player immersed into the player's mind, where they're out there reacting and responding, owning what's asked of them, and so that they can really play freed up. And that the whole idea of the simplicity part of it is to get guys freed up where they're not burdened with assignments and rules and guidelines and things like that burden them. Because anything that challenges your focus can take you away from your best ability to play. It doesn't matter whether it's the crowd or expectations or the last play you're worried about or the good player you're going against. Anything that disrupts and creates a discursive thought, keeps you from being fully focused. And so the simplicity all is guided by all of that thinking. So that's what he's talking about. And yeah, it's good. It's good. Cam came up with that. That's good.
You just talked about how well Jordan's been playing. Has that same thought of simplicity helped the rookies that you've had play well on defense early in recent years?
There's no doubt. That's always been part. We've always wanted to play guys, young guys, all the way back to college, and if you put them in there and they don't know what they're doing, they can't perform. So you have to, and that's why back in the day and even now, we put guys in situations to play in a manner that they're really good at, if we can tailor what we're doing to match up with the special makeup of the player, we're going to do it. And so we have enough background that we can tweak things and even use our terminology to help guys understand how it makes sense to them, and that's more important than some great scheme with all kinds of bells and whistles and all that.
Curtis.
Hey Pete, given the struggles the pass rush had a year ago, first half of this year, to have the way you guys have turned around with that group up front and with Jamal, and the fact that I think you pressured him, Jared Goff 24 times yesterday and about 50 dropbacks, just the way that's turned in the group, way that group's playing right now, how big a deal is that to you, and what are you seeing out of them that's allowed them to do that?
Yeah, well, if you remember, it was really right at the 8-game mark, I think, right when after the Buffalo game, it really rocked us. We needed to turn our focus to embrace the mentality of the individual players as much as we could, and so in that middle part of that, right then we were really getting after it, and we were doing all kinds of stuff to try and generate, and understand best how we could use our guys, and so. That has led us to where we are now, and we're pressuring a little bit differently than we did early on, but it's just we've tried to put players in the positions where they can do things really well and feel really confident and go for it. And it doesn't always work out right, but that's what we're trying to do. And it has led us to a more aggressive style, and Kenny's done a great job with the base package of what we're doing to put guys in position where they can pressure from, and so we're threatening. Our look threatens to be threatens pressure all the time, and that's part of the mentality that we're trying to live with and play up to.
And then just to follow up on Darrell Taylor, do you guys have any long-term concerns with what he's dealing with and trying to get back from, or is there just a hurdle here he hasn't been able to get over in the interim?
Curtis, I'm trying to not go there. I'm trying to keep holding a good thought, like we're going to be okay here if given enough time and all that. So I don't know what to say for the long haul of it. But we're just trying to get him back now and see what he's able to do, and it'll certainly help him to have an off season, another off season. It'll certainly help, and so I'll just stop right there.
Art?
Pete, speaking of the Buffalo game, after the game you said, I don't recognize us.
Leave it back to Art to go back to Buffalo. Take us back to Buffalo. Okay, I got you. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Obviously, a return to good health was a big part of the defensive recovery, but on the flight back or the next day's practice, did your conversations with Norton or the defensive guys produce some awareness about a tactic or a strategy that you guys needed to go forward with?
We did. We put our heads together and did some really, really important things then, and we were so uncharacteristic and so off and all that that was like the final straw. We had to make sure that we adjusted and figured it out and tweaked it and all of that, and so it really was the 8-game mark, I think, and then it took us a while to get rolling, but we really turned a corner there, and so. Yeah, and I'm not going to share that with you if you don't mind, but all of the details of that. But yeah, but that was really that time frame. It was, yeah, that had been enough.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, with the new playoff format this year, with just the number one seed getting to bye, I don't even know if we ever asked you about that. Just if you like that kind of the adding the team, but only one team getting the bye, and then just the seedings this week. Does it play much into how you play anything at all, and what maybe it's?
Yeah, we're going for it. We would love to have that break for our players if we can get it. It's good to have. I think another team gets a shot or whatever, and they give more opportunity. They spread that out. That's good. If nobody had a bye, it'd be good. I don't know. If it was all even, it would probably be better, in my mind. But because you can't control it, it's outside of you to a certain extent. So, but we're playing for it because it's good for you. It's good for your body, and all that. So we're going to try to take care of business and get that thing, if it's possible. So we're going all out again this week. There's no other thought than to play. This is the championship opportunity to put ourselves in the best situation going into the playoffs.
Joe?
Pete, with Brandon Shell, was it just a kind of feeling of he just wasn't there yet and Cedric was your best option, or did he potentially suffer some sort of maybe setback with his?
Setback. No setback at all, Joe. He was really. We rested him throughout the week, just trying to gain as many days as we could. He was able to. He could play, but we didn't think he would be vulnerable and might not be able to finish. And so we thought if we could do it without him and give him another week and a whole weekend and then start up again on Wednesday, and bring him back, that he would be back fully. And so that's what the plan was. He would have played if we needed him, but he would have been the last guy to go in. We had been in that situation a couple times this year with guys that really in emergency roles for us. And Brandon wanted to play. He wanted to go, but he wasn't able to work during the week at all. So just I think a little bit on Friday. So that was the thinking. And so he's going to practice this week, and he's going for it. So the other side of that is Cedric has done well. He's done a nice job, and it allowed us to think that way and to have the confidence that would be the right thing to do. And he held his own in this game.
Greg?
Pete, in the past, when you've been in these situations, week 17, you said the same thing. We're going for it. Do you have to tell your players that? Is there a natural inclination that the players might feel as though they can let up or perhaps take a week to reset before the playoffs begin? Do you have to address that?
They ain't hearing that, Greg. They're not hearing anything from that. They've been doing everything we want to do all the way throughout. I can't imagine anybody looking for a way out. That's not what this group is about. The guys that might think that way don't realize how valuable it is to get the bye. The bye is really important, and to be healthy is so crucial at the end of the season. So it's worth playing for. There's a whole nother side to it. There's only been like one or two times that I remember one time in particular when we've been faced with this, when we didn't have anything to gain maybe. The other side of this is maintaining the consistency and maintaining the regimen that we have and the mentality that we have. Man, I don't want to break that thing right now. I don't want to break that mentality at all. We want to stay right with it and keep pushing and trying to get better. We got a lot of room to get better. We made a lot of mistakes that we can fix during the course of this week for the next game and leading into the next couple games and all that. So I don't like taking the chance of breaking the mentality. And so I think we can get up every single week. We can get up every freaking week. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of coaches that say, oh, you can get up 4 or 5 times a year or 3 or 4 times a year. I've never thought that. And we're not going to mess with that right now. We're going to keep on rolling. Let me say this, too. I want to go back to the Jets game. The Jets game was way more indicative of our mentality than this game was to me. And this game, the guys rose up and did a great job and all of that. But the Jets game was a near perfect game for us, and that was crucially important, that to demonstrate that these guys are in. And so if there was a week when maybe you might have trouble getting up, or maybe it would have been that week or whatever. I mean, just look around. It's had some impact on other clubs. This week is extremely important, coming off of this win, to come back and play right again, and to show that you can handle the success just as well as the changing magnitude of the games and the matchups and all that. So this is a big deal. This is a really big deal, just as it was a few weeks ago. There wasn't to be concerned about raising up to play this past game. This one was tailor-made.
And then a corollary to that, pragmatically, do you have someone keeping an eye on the Saints and the Packers games at the same time, pragmatically speaking, because if they don't lose and you can't get the one, and then do you maybe dial back guys who are banged up or anything as the game goes on?
It's pretty easy to keep track, of the games, I don't know what time we're playing. I don't have any idea when the matchups are or any of that kind of stuff. But we're going for it. We're competing, and we're either competing or you're not. If you're letting up, you're letting up. We ain't letting up. We're going. We're not. You don't want us to, and our fans don't want us to, and they don't hope that happens. We're going for it.
Brady?
This is not really a question that applies to your team right now, but it's something that you've spoken to in the past, and it's actually a question from our Chiefs reporter. And it's how hard is it, how difficult is it to repeat as champions, just given everything that comes with being Super Bowl champions?
Yeah, I think it's just historically an enormous challenge for teams to come back, and there's a lot of obvious reasons why. And you think, why they won one year, why don't you win the next year too? It's almost easier to get there and win it than it is to come back and do it the second time around. And it's because of the shift that takes place once you win, and all that goes on through those months of the off season and the build-up, and then the anticipation going through the start of all of the stories and the storylines and the scenarios and all of that, and the mentality of the players and what they've just accomplished, and the coaches. I mean, there's so much that goes into handling that I think the fact that KC is doing what they're doing is an amazing statement for their team, for their coaching staff. Andy does a marvelous job, and to be where they are, we had our chance at it a couple years back, and you saw us bounce right back. It was challenging, but we made it back to that game and made it all the way to the final. That's I think that's the big accomplishment, you know. And I know that winning a Super Bowl is a big deal and all that, but winning 2 is really cool. And it was a question I asked when I was my first meeting I ever had at the Patriots. They had just come off the Super Bowl and hadn't won, but and I asked the question to those guys, how many guys think it's the greatest thing in the world to win a Super Bowl? And most of the guys raised their hand, and I said, well, how many guys think it's even greater to win 2? And they looked at me like, what are you, nuts? So I got off to a funky start, but that was a great idea, though, I thought, because it was about how far out do you set your expectations? Well, what's too much to expect? What's too much to anticipate that you're capable of? And anyway, just a little sidebar there. That was for you, Jen.
And one more quick one. You mentioned that you go back and forth between the coach's film and the TV copy. What do you gain by watching the TV copy?
Oh, there's tons of stuff. There's there's very limited the viewpoint that we get from on the football, our copies of stuff. You get the close-ups and you get the playbacks and you get the, all of those, the angles that you get that are of value, and then it's also I need to hear what they're telling you guys. I want to know what they're saying to everybody, because that's important. Because the words that those guys say about the impact of the game or with the situation, all that, shoot, they become gospel, and they become totally guiding, and it's just important to know what's going on.
Thanks.
Masvita.
This morning you said on Cairo that good defense is about precision, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you went on to say doing what you're capable of doing during heightened circumstances. How has your leadership group been able to do that with this team?
How is our leadership? What was that word?
Been able to source that out, from what I heard, you said that the ability to do what you can do during heightened circumstances is something that you've really seen this team do, and I'm wondering how Bobby.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, well, yeah, this is a really important premise to me, for me to try to stand for and to convey, because the last thing I want to see guys do is try to, meet the moment and elevate to the opportunity and stuff. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that's the right way to go about it, and I don't believe it. I know it happens, and it's so commonplace to talk like that, but you want to be at your best in all circumstances, and even more so amplified at the end when you finish it. You want to be great finishing, and that means that as the elements of the contest, the challenge, the performance takes place, then you don't want that to affect your mentality in a way that can distract you from being what you're capable of being. And so I witnessed this years ago watching the Niners back in the day when they were winning year in, year out, and they were great, and they always played well in the playoffs. And I had a chance to ask Coach Walsh about this in depth, and we talked about it a lot, about how do you orchestrate that kind of performance in those kinds of situations. And he was so clear about that, you want to just make sure that at least you do what you're capable of doing, and you don't come up short by being distracted, by trying too hard, by being outside of yourself, and not being yourself. And in that, they used to play so fast in championship situations. They used to look so well grooved. Well, he never asked them to do anything that they weren't already doing. They didn't already know. They never would do new stuff that would take a player or a group outside of their ability to do what they're capable of. And that mentality has meant so much to me for such a long time now. I mean, and we're talking 20-something years, 25 years of thinking this way, is to see championship moments as moments that you're prepared for, and you don't have to do things differently to play in those moments. What you need to do is do what you're capable of, and that's enough of a challenge in itself, because everybody wants to win, and so they want to do things what they think they need to do to win, and sometimes that takes you outside of what you're good at. We prepare and practice our tails off to be really efficient and solid and technique sound and precise about what we're doing. And if you're going to go try to do something, make something else up on game day, in the moment, you're likely not to do well. And we want to guarantee our success and guarantee our consistency. And so there's a whole mentality about it that we preach and talk to guys that get great at what you're doing, and then take that to the ball game. And then if we all do that, then we're really hard to beat. because you don't give up nothing. You don't make the big errors. You don't make the big blunders. You don't, at halftime of this game, it's 6-6, and they're asking me, what do you got to do? What do you mean? What do we got to do? We got to go out there and function really well. In the second half of that game yesterday, Russell was 10 for 13. We were 5 for 7 on third down. His passer rating was 130 something. He ran one in. He scored. He threw another touchdown. That's what I'm talking about. That's what Russell's capable of. And in the championship moment, in the second half of the biggest opportunity we would have to that point of the season, he freaking killed it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we want guys to do. We want to perform like you're capable. He didn't do anything crazy. He threw a pass to David. He threw a little dump to Carlos, and he's got in the corner of the end zone. He functioned really well in those crucial third down situations. Makes the great throw to Jake that he makes in practice every day. He did exactly what he was capable of, which is awesome under those circumstances. And that's what we're trying to get done. And that's what we preach, and that's what we live to do. And we live for those opportunities to prove that we can do it. That's why we need the big matchups. That's why we needed to play in Washington with a great defense that they had a couple weeks ago. It was huge. And it was a huge opportunity for us to show that we could stand in there and go toe-to-toe with a great group, great pass rush group, and win a game. And it helped us this week as well. So he didn't ask for all that, but screw it.
Well, actually, it was, because I was going to say that you see somebody body that like number 3 does, Russell. And you answered that, he does do that. Russell Wilson seems to have that from Tom West.
Yeah, he does. He believes it. He was in that, and he kind of dedicated. He was in the Mamba mentality last night, and he was there. And when we needed it most, he was at his best. And that's all we could hope for. And he didn't have to do anything crazy. He just did great, just doing him. I think I heard when I was driving, I heard KJ on the radio or something talking about, I think KJ was saying the same thing, and that the guys that have been around Bobby and KJ, they know. They know what they're comfortable with that. One of the coolest things, okay, one more thing. One of the coolest things about this as an expectation is we're not asking you to do anything that you haven't done before. And I want guys to feel comfortable in that. I want them to feel comfortable in the moment, comfortable in the finish to the season, the finish to the game, the finish to the drive, that we've been here before. That's what a great player does. This ain't no big deal. I got to just go. Let's just go play. And that's how I want the whole group to think. And these guys exhibited that. That's why I was so proud of that game. I thought they exhibited it perfectly yesterday.
He started it. Now he's going to finish it. Last question, Ben Arthur.
Hit it, Ben. Break it on.
Yeah, this injury one. Trey Flowers, is he kind of still? Is he on track to return for you guys this week?
He feels going into the game yesterday that he was just that close. If we could just get past a couple more days, so he should be full Wednesday and all the way through the week. So he should be returning to us.
Thank you.
See ya.